Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you here like always. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on the red-throat parrot finch and some of the different mutations of this species that I keep in the aviary and that I'm currently working with. As many of you know, the red-throat parrot finch is a beautiful species to keep whether it is in cages or an aviary due to the fact that it is very attractive and appealing based on the colorations that they have and the contrast between their colors. I would have to say that when compared to other species like the Gouldians, although they're not highly as colorful, they definitely do win second best. The normal coloration for this species, as you can see here, would be a red face, red throat, green body, and red tail, and this is the wild type color or the natural normal color. But there are a variety of other mutations that come after this, and this is all thanks to the hard work of different breeders over the years focusing on trying to achieve different mutations or variations of these birds. Next in line would be the sea green variation, and as you can see from this part of the video, in the sea green variations we have a variety of things that change about the bird. The head and tail colors change from red to orange, and the body color also changes from a green color to more of a sea green color that has hints of blues in it. Moving on to the next mutation, we have the part blue, or the true yellowheads as some breeders call them. Now this mutation is one that I just recently acquired and started working with in my aviary. And this is a fairly brand new mutation. It hasn't been around for a very long time, but it is one of the nicest mutations or variations of sea green that you can get. And I love this mutation. In it, we can see that there's a couple different changes in the color, with the main one being that the head goes from an orangey color now to a more yellowish color, or a very light orange color. The body also changes, where it is more bluish in color than the normal sea greens, and we're going to go ahead and compare them and put a normal sea green next to a part blue so you can see the difference. Once we put them together, you're able to right off the bat see how different these birds are. You notice that the different shades between the orange head and the yellow head are completely different, and we can see that the bodies are also extremely different, with the par blue having more of a bluish color to the body than the actual sea greens. It's very difficult to appreciate the colors of these birds when we only focus on one at a time. So in order to be able to appreciate these colors and notice the differences between these mutations, I thought, why not place them together in the same photo box? And this way you're able to appreciate a little bit more of the subtle differences between each variation. We can see that the normal one maintains its natural red coloration, but when we move over into the sea green mutation, the head color changes slightly to more of a orange color, while the body also changes and it's not as light green anymore. It has hints of blues in it. But on the other spectrum is the par blue. Now the par blue has very distinguishable changes in colors. The head is now a very light orange or yellowish color, and the body changes completely, where it is not green anymore. It has very strong characteristics of blue colorations in it. The next mutation is by far one of my favorite ones, and one that I did not expect to be working with this year. This caught me all by surprise, and it is the Lutino Variation. When I first made a trip down to Miami in 2019 to buy a few extra parrot finches, the guy that I was buying from told me that the birds he was selling to me had just came in a recent import from Europe, and that they were split to Lutinos. I didn't believe him much at the time, and I thought he was just saying that because he wanted to make a sale, which regardless, I was going to end up buying the birds. But he wasn't lying to me. It was actually the truth. And it didn't take long before that pair started producing Lutinos, along with one of the next mutations that I want to show you, which is also one of my favorite ones, and one that I was not expecting to hatch at all this year. And that is the sea green Lutino. Now, if you've been keeping up with the videos that I've been posting in the channel, you'll know that when this chick first hatched, I thought it was going to be the very first albino parrot finch, and that was due to the fact of how clear or white in color this chick was. and it led me to believe that maybe as it went on later on to molt, it would keep some of this white coloration. Unfortunately, after it molted, it changed, and we started to notice that its color came to a sea green, or it showed that it was going to become a sea green variation. And this is the beautiful bird that we have here in front of us now. I've done an update on this chick, showing you guys exactly from the day that it hatched until the day that it fledged, and even when it molted, because this is a bird that I had to hand feed. It gave me a lot of trouble in the beginning stages because the parents did not want to take care of it, and not only the parents but also the society finches decided that they were not going to foster this chick at all. They would not feed it. So I had to pull her out and hand feed her from day one. So if you're interested in watching that video, I will link it in the description box below. In this variation, the changes are also very obvious. We notice that when compared to the normal Lutino, the head color changes now into a orange color, and the body is not as yellow. It's more of a lighter color, or a cream color. Again, for comparison, I'm going to be placing both of these in the photo box together so we can tell the differences between both of these mutations. We notice that the regular Lutino has a very intense yellow color in its body, and the head is very intense with the red coloration. But when we compare it to the sea green Lutino, we notice that these colors change. The head is now a very light orange, and the body's coloration tends to dull down a bit, where it turns into a very light yellow or a cream color. Alright guys, and that's going to be the last mutation that I keep in the aviary. So I have the normals, I have the sea greens, I have the par blues, the Lutinos, and the sea green Lutinos. Now keep in mind that there are other mutations available. You have pieds and other different new mutations that are being created at the moment in Europe, and they just haven't made their way down here into the US. But eventually, as time progresses and they become more common, some of those new mutations will come down here. Now hopefully in the future we can have other types of mutations here in the US created first. You never know if we'll be the first ones to come out with a albino parrot finch. I was talking to a breeder recently about this because I don't know much about the genetics of these birds and how to play with their genetics in order to create new mutations. And one of the things that he was explaining to me was that in order to create an albino, we first need a blue. So blue is the basis for white, is what he was telling me, and I hope that I'm not chopping this up. So in order for us to have an albino parrot finch, which would be amazing to have a red throat that is albino, and we don't know if eventually when that bird comes about, if it's going to have a red throat and red face, or is it going to be all white. So it would be very interesting to see how these mutations develop in the future and what we acquire. But in order to get to that point, the first thing that we need to have is a blue. Now the par blue gets us very close to that, but I'm assuming that we still need a parrot finch that has a deeper blue coloration before we are able to continue into other different mutations. Like always guys, I hope that you've enjoyed the video. This is going to be the end for now. Comment below and let me know what you guys think about these mutations and if you are working with any of them. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and we will see each other in the next video.